Welcome back to the Top 10 in 2013 PNC's Year in Review. We've reached the top story that made headlines this year and not only impacted our community, but the Japanese community as well. The case of Chad Ryan DeSoto. He's the man accused of murdering 3 tourists and injuring 11 others on February 12th. We take you back 2 weeks after the 2/12 incident where he entered a plea of not guilty by reason of mental illness. DeSoto was in court on that day for an arraignment. It was also the first time his mother showed up to her son's hearing. The courtroom was packed today as Chad Ryan DeSoto was brought to the courthouse for his arraignment. And for the first time since the February 12th Tumon tragedy, DeSoto's mother, Ray Aiko Ski DeSoto, appeared in public to attend her son's hearing. She sat front row with a handful of other relatives who shielded her from the media mob. Right before the hearing began, a commotion was seen from the inside of the courtroom as detainees were being brought in through a restricted entrance. That commotion you just saw was an escape attempt, according to Deputy Marshal Theodore Padua. He tells PNC that DeSoto was unshackled because court marshals wanted to treat him like all other detainees. But DeSoto bolted, headed for the elevator, says Padua. 4 court marshals eventually captured him and put his handcuffs back on. He was later brought into the courtroom, and just as he walked in, his mother, who was in plain view of her son, broke down in tears.
Chad Ryan DeSoto. Mr. DeSoto.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Before we begin,
This time, Your Honor, we will waive the reading of the indictment, enter a plea of not guilty by reason of mental illness, disease, or defect, demand all the discovery we're entitled to by law, including locks and monuments, grand jury proceedings on a disc, and demanding a jury of 12 in this matter, and we are waiving our right to a speedy trial.
Judge Tolentino granted Miller's request for a 12-member jury trial and that all discovery and grand jury proceedings be recorded onto a compact disc. Tolentino further granted a motion to dismiss Count 9 in the indictment. Count 9 charged DeSoto with attempted aggravated murder against Haruka Furuyama. He also ordered a psychological evaluation on DeSoto.
what the court is going to do is the court is going to order that a psychological evaluation be performed within 10 days of receipt of this order.
DeSoto's mother, who had just laid her sister to rest this week, has not spoken to the media since the Tumon tragedy, and today she was flocked by both local and Japanese media who were looking for answers, but she declined to speak.
Soto, any message that you'd like to give?
Apologies to the family that is suffering. Nothing. I'm sorry.
Could you at least say whether you're preparing a statement for the future?
Would you like to say something also to the victims? From your family to theirs?
Chad DeSoto, who was known in the community as a talented actor, is facing 3 counts aggravated murder and 11 counts attempted aggravated murder. On the evening of February 12th, prosecutors alleged DeSoto drove his car into the sidewalk of the plaza and mowed down tourists, then slammed his car into the ABC store at the Outrigger, finally jumped out in rage and began stabbing people at random. Meanwhile, Department of Corrections spokesman Lieutenant Anton Uggin says DeSoto will continue to be housed at DOC's medical facility in Manila. He says DeSoto has never made an attempt to escape from prison, but he notes that because an attempt was made in court today, corrections officers will be on alert mode. Superior Court Judge Anita Socola ordered a second psychological evaluation to be done on DeSoto in November, and in December they had another hearing on the matter. However, it looks as though a jury trial will not begin on DeSoto's case until sometime in 2014. We'll continue to stay with us. Up next, Frankie Perez brings you the top sports stories of the year.